Hello everyone, I am Doodlemans86 and today I am going to review the long-awaited King of the Monsters Godzilla 2004 SH Monsterarts. Many have been waiting for this figure to be made for so long, and he finally has his figure. Is it worth it? There are many QC issues, many complaints about him, and today I'm going to review him and see if he is worth picking up or not. So before we start with the actual figure review, let's just get to the box. So starting with the box, you have the traditional scratch marks here with the see-through to see the actual figure. Something that hasn't been done in a long time, as far as I've seen. And we have the figure, you have the Godzilla 2004 SH Monsterarts stickers here. This shiny cool sticker. Top is just scratch marks. Bottom, not much going for it. Scratch marks right here. Then we turn it over here. You have a nice front view of Godzilla. That looks really nice. And in the back, you just have more promotional pictures, which don't look bad. And this whole box is like cold theme, you know? There's like blues, smoke, which looks really nice. I really like that attention to detail. But moving over to the figure, first we gotta move the camera down. And here is the SH Monsterarts Godzilla 2004. So as always with my Monsterarts reviews, we're going to start out with the articulation to see how he holds up. So first off, we have a ball joint jaw, which is pretty interesting. I think this is my first figure with a ball joint jaw. It's not just a hinge, which is really cool. Here the head is on a ball joint. It goes a full 360 up this far and down that far. Okay, well, it broke. Then we have this little neck piece to cover up any gaps, as you just saw there. We have a ball joint at the base of the neck. Looks up this far, up this far, up that far, and it goes a full 360 if you want your Godzilla to look that way for some reason. The shoulder is on a ball joint, opens and closes this far, also goes a full 360, and then we have a bicep swivel here. We have a double hinge elbow as well as a swivel. There you go. A swivel for the forearm as well, and it is on a ball joint. Goes full 360. The wrist joint itself is on a ball joint. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah. And the hand itself is on a ball joint. And it goes a full 360. The upper chest is on a ball joint as well, as you can see. And the middle piece here is also on a ball joint, so he can look down and up pretty far. Up not as much, but down he definitely can. His hips are on a ball joint. The knees are on a double hinge, as you can see. The ankle piece here is on a ball joint. It can move like that. It doesn't go a full 360. And you have a floating ankle piece here, and then the ankle has a ball joint which lets the foot move full 360. The feet, or the legs, can open about this far, close about that far. And then the tail, the leg just fell off. The tail has 29 ball joints, all allowing for smooth articulation and posing. So you can get really nice shapes, and you can even get the S shape if you really work for it. So yeah, this is a really good ball joint. Goes up that far, and it goes down pretty far. But be careful when moving this guy, because the joints, as you have seen in this review, will pop off if you go too extreme with them. So just be careful with them and don't force anything. And you'll get some really nice poses. You can even go for a little swimming pose as well, which is really nice. The sculpting and the painting on this guy is absolutely beautiful. It's some of the best I've ever seen in a Monsterarts in a while. So we'll go over this. It was sculpted by Yuji Sakai, which is really cool. And that head has that proportionate cat-like face to it, which is really cool. His eyes are absolutely beautiful. They are orange with printing on them. The irises look great. When you open up the mouth, you have this fleshy, pinkish, almost purplish-like color, which looks really gross. And it has gloss on that. And the teeth, which are bone-like yellow. And they just look so nasty but realistic, which looks really cool. His prominent eyebrows are there and really nice. The rows of spikes. His ears look very nice. The head has that certain shape to it, as you can see, so when you put it in a pose, you can definitely tell it's Final Wars. And he has that thick neck. He has this dewlap right here with skin on the neck, which looks really cool. And I really like the spikes. I just like how they went all out with this sculpt. He looks so sharp, he feels sharp, and that really adds to the actual figure itself. You have the chest with all the scales and the prominent detail right there. He's got this muscular but skinny physique to him, which is accurate to the movie. So he has a nice proportion of muscle on his whole body, and as you can see here, he is pretty jacked, but he's also not that buff. He's got skin to him. He's very skinny, as you can see with the wrists, which is really accurate. And that goes on through the arms, as you can see here. They are pretty long, and his hands, his thumb claw is almost, it reaches the same size as the other fingers, which is a really nice detail. His hands just look skinny and scrawny, and the nails are absolutely deadly, and they're painted with that bone yellow and brownish color, that gloss and the white tip. It just looks so good, but so nasty. Then you have that detail continuing down to the legs, which are just as muscular. You have his knees here, and then you have his calves, which are really big, and the same thing with the four toes down here, looking the same. The charcoal black skin that they used here just looks so good. They just added so many details that you look and you never miss one. It just looks so good. Then you have the spines here, which is the Final Wars. I don't know why I was gonna say Showa. The Final Wars spines, small, then big, and then extremely big, and then it just goes down from there. Classic Final Wars. And I like how there's space in between the spines. That's pretty accurate, and it looks really cool. As you can see, there's like space here. You can put your thumb in here, which is really, really cool. And the spines themselves are white with a ghost-like bluish gray in the center, and you have the black, and I can't tell, I think it's dry brushed onto the part of the spine that sticks out, which is really nice. I really like that detail. And then you have some spikes in between and in the middle, and that goes on to the tail, which is not that big, but it is pretty long. And you have the white going down all the way to the tip, which looks really cool because it's not just black. You actually have the white going down, which is really awesome. And then you have this texture at the bottom, which just looks really nice. With the sculpt, it just looks really good. So overall, I have to give an A plus to the sculpt and paint. It looks really nice. And the detail they put on it is just marvelous. It's just your basic Monsterarts, but with a bit of fire to it. So I really do applaud the detail that went into this. I have to give Monsterarts a pass on this release. But sadly, he does not come with any accessories, which is a real shame. And his price goes from around anywhere to $100 to $120 based on what site you're buying him from. On BBTS, he's $94.99. On Amazon, I think he was $100, and I myself got him from Amazon for $111. So pretty hefty price for no accessories, but let's move on to the size comparison. He is around 6.3 inches in terms of height, as per usual with Godzilla releases. And then from head to tail, he is around 10 inches. Compared to other figures in his line, he scales it really well. So he's going to stand at a normal height. But overall, the size is pretty good, pretty accurate, and for what you're getting, he stands well with other figures despite not being in their movies. So he'll look really good in your collection, despite the line or the characters. One thing to go over that has been very, very much been said about this figure is the gaps in the QC. So my copy is good, but I feel like, as some YouTubers have mentioned, it's less that it's loose and more like you're pushing joints too far, because yeah, it is loose in some spots, and I know that there's probably going to be copies that are more loose than others, but what I've seen is that for the most part, it's just very easy to move, and because of that, you can probably pop a joint off easy, which has happened to me a lot. So I feel like it's either a mix of both or just one and not the other. Something else that has been mentioned are the gaps, which can be fixed, like this gap right here, for example. This figure has many gaps, but just as many as it has, it can be fixed. Yeah, Tamashii Nations, this problem is kind of on you. When I pay upwards of $100 for a figure, I expect quality for that kind of price. So is this figure worth that kind of price? I say yes. Yeah, the accessories or the lack of is really bad, and the fact that there's any QC issues with this kind of price is pretty bad. But this figure is a solid release. The sculpting and painting make this figure pop out a lot, which is really nice considering that the sculpt is just so well done. It's very accurate to the movie. The amount of articulation and how easy and flexible it is really just highlights how great this figure really is. The posability and the fun you're gonna have with this guy is a lot, because I still play with this figure a lot, and it's really great to move and get into action poses, since that's what Final Wars Godzilla is all about. I highly recommend getting this guy if you don't have him, or if you want a nice Final Wars figure in your collection, because this guy is definitely worth picking up. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.